Hi, this is Catherine. This is Taking Tea with Catherine. This is a tea called Calm Stomach. I believe it's what it's called by Bigelow Tea. And it's peach flavored. It's okay. I just really was up to having a calm stomach today. Um, so I'm doing a TBR, which I don't do every month anymore, but this was a really good reason. It is for the We Love Jenny Readathon, which is hosted by Tiffany at Beautiful Minutia and Christy Dostoevsky in Space. And they were very close to Jennifer Brooks, who was one of my very favorite booktubers, and a person that I was in touch with from time to time. And she was just a lovely person. Um, and she died in early January, and it's still a shock, of course. And it's hard. I was able to watch her memorial service. They had it on YouTube, and it was well done. It was very her, and I'm glad that so many, that was that so many people were out there to remember her. But I also am very happy that there is a way that those of us, at different parts of the country or globe, can also remember her. And of course, the best way, in my opinion, and in other people's opinion, it would seem, would be by reading books that she would have liked, or that she either talked about, or that was just in her genre, etc. So it is for the month of February, but I'm sure I'm not the only one. I think Christy said this as well, that I'm probably going to carry on a little bit throughout the rest of the year, reading books. And it's easy to do so because I actually have a lot of books in my possession that I've yet to read that were books that she recommended. Not every single one I bought because she recommended them, but quite a few. And then quite a few I had, and then heard her speak about it and said, "Oh, I really should read that one. I really have to get to it." So this is one opportunity for me to get to it, and it is a great way, like I said, to remember her. There, it's still, it's still very sad, of course, but it reminds me, especially because I just did a reread of 84 Charing Cross Road, Helene Hanff, who would correspond for 20 years with a bookseller in London. And at the end of this point, she wrote a letter to a friend who was heading over to England, and Helene had not been to England yet. She had tried to get there for a while. So she says in the letter something along the lines of, "Maybe it's best I never got there." That someone she knew had said that people go to England to find, I don't know the exact quote, but something, they have a preconceived thing of what they're looking for, so they always find it. And she said, "I would go there to look for the England of English literature." And he said, "Well, then it's there." And she said, "Maybe it is, but maybe it isn't. But one thing is for certain, it's here," because she was surrounded by all the books that she had purchased all over the years. She was dusting them at the time. And it reminded me a little bit of how I feel when I saw the books that reminded me of Jennifer Brooks, Jenny, as she was also called. And it was sad. It's been sad, actually, sometimes, the past few weeks, just looking around, just my library, and also the couple of times I've been to bookshops, and I would think of her, which isn't actually unusual. There were other times that I would, think of a video she had made recently. And so I am, at least this is something that I am looking forward to doing, this reading. And so anyway, let's get started with what it basically is. One thing they're going to have is an optional group read. Obviously, everything is optional, but it's nice. So I did check it out at the library. I hope to read it as well. It's called The Villa, a novel by Rachel Hawkins. So I believe it has a number of things to do, but a number of subjects. But Mary Shelley is part of the conversation in here, and that was one of the things, one of her interests. On Jennifer's channel, she spoke a lot of the Romantic poets, including and also Mary Shelley, who was married to Percy Bysshe Shelley. So hopefully that'll be good. Anyway, so here are some of the prompts, and I will go along with some of them and show you some of the books that I plan to read, or at least start. And here we go. So read a book from one of Jenny's most read genres and subgenres: historical fiction, romantasy, which I guess is romantic fantasy, and poetry, ancient, epic, Victorian, romantic, Victorian sensation novels or penny dreadfuls, historical nonfiction, dark academia, etc. I was thinking about reading The Secret History because I still haven't read it. And I actually purchased it on, I believe, on her recommendation. And yet I still haven't read it. If I do unearth it in my library, I might give it a go. But it's not my ultimate plan right now. Where's this book? Sorry, I'm turning my back on you. But the one of the things that I chose, there's so many, there's a little overlap in some of these prompts for me anyway. But the one that I picked here is a book by Wilkie Collins. I already had it as a TBR for this year, or a planned read, so that works for me. I know that she really liked Wilkie Collins. That was one of Jenny's favorite Victorian writers. And so this one's I Say No. And hopefully it will be one of the better ones. I have no idea because I don't really know too many people have read this particular book. I'm sure that some have. But and that does fall within the Victorian sensation novels, I believe. So that's a start. As far as historical fiction, I have a book here that I specifically remember her recommending on a Wars of the Roses historical fiction read and video. And I believe it was after she recommended it that I found it in Book Off for $1. And I was like, wow, what a steal. And then never read it. So now here is my chance. And that is A Rose for the Crown by Anne Easter Smith. And it takes place in the time of Richard III, and who will be mentioned in a moment. I have always been not always been, for many years, I found the Wars of the Roses interesting. English history in general is interesting to me, but that particular time period, and I know one of the things I had in common with Jenny was Richard III. We were both of us very interested in him, and sometimes I would share like a meme with her about him or something related to that. And so I thought that was fitting. And okay, so let's see what else I have here. So many to choose from. But anyway, read absolutely anything Italy related. Now, we know that she loved Italy. Go to Italy. It was like the way I talk about going to London, that was her in Italy. I always said that she was more Italian than I am because I have Italian ancestry, but I've never been to Italy. I really don't speak the language despite over a year of Duolingo. And although I do have quite the appetite for Italian food. But otherwise, I think she definitely, just by the way she lived and the things that she loved, was definitely more Italian than I am. Totally. So, put that in too long. It's too strong. I remember her speaking about the Lives of the Artists by Giorgio Vasari. And I know there's longer versions of it that aren't, obviously that aren't, what's that word? Condensed, I guess? I don't know. That's not the right word. It sounds like Reader's Digest. But not edited anyway. So this is probably not complete, but it is the Oxford World's Classics. I got it out of the library because just in case I thought I may not be as into it as she was. But I thought, okay, I'll take it to the library. I have gotten the most beat up version of this book. It was wrapped in this really old school looking wrapping, and then I opened it up and saw this, and I was like, ugh. But I checked it at the library, and I was reading it. I read one chapter or one life, and I still don't know how to pronounce this person's name, but it was interesting, and I said I might actually be able to go with this one. So I'm pretty happy about that. I know for a long time I did want to read Vasari because of those recommendations. So here's the time. Okay, the next one is read about one of, probably more of if you want, Jenny's favorite historical figures: Napoleon, the sons of Ragnar, Jesus Christ, the Romantic poets, Dante, Emperor Nero, Richard III, the Borgias, Rasputin, etc. Or events: the Titanic, the Princes in the Tower, the American Revolution, the French Revolution, the Renaissance, any conspiracies or scandals, etc. That is great. I just love that there is so much to choose from. And my big one in this category is one that I am going to have to use a little effort to pick up and show you because it is a door stopper. But I have had this one also for a while. I had it for a while actually on the floor in my library in here, and it's the face has been staring up at me, and I'm like, okay, time to become red. So this is Andrew Roberts' Napoleon. I am still not sure if I read anything actually of Andrew Roberts. I have one or two books of his, and I wanted to start. So this is my chance to start. I have read books about Napoleon before, but nothing like this. And I do love a big, chunky biography. This is almost approximately 800 pages. I definitely won't read it just in February, but that's okay because I really love being stuck in a big biography. I remember reading Hamilton, the Hamilton biography by his name, Ron Chernow. And it took me quite some time, but it was so good. And that could be recommended because it's related to the American Revolution. The Princes in the Tower are mentioned here. I am reading currently a book by Philippa Langley about the Princes in the Tower. So that is also something I will continue doing. I've also been reading a book about the pretenders who were supposedly, possibly the princes in the tower, according to some people. So that is related to Richard III. And let's see, it mentions Ragnar. Now I don't know. I'm not really reading anything specifically about that, but it's right behind me. At one point, actually, I was in the Strand yesterday, and I specifically remember I was in the history section, and I saw the area where I picked out a book based like just on her recommendation. So I got sad. I got sad for a moment, but then I said, oh, you know what? Okay, let's channel this. So I remember one of the things that she helped me get into a little more than I had been, or a lot more than I had been before. Maybe I'd read one or two books tops. And I know some people will say, at least you've read that, but sometimes with me, I like to do deep dives when I'm into something, especially any subject that I'm interested in. I don't usually read just one book about. I will read tons of books about. So one of the things that she was interested in, and when it says Ragnar, I thought that she liked Anglo-Saxon, as it were. I know some people don't like that phrase anymore, but the time period is still kind of called the Anglo-Saxon period, and that is for some centuries prior to the Norman conquest, which was in 1066. So I don't remember the exact moment where it started, but a number of centuries before that. I have read at least one book that was directly of her recommendation, and I have another one that I haven't finished yet. But I had this book that was not anyone. I don't remember if Jennifer ever mentioned this book, but I also, excuse me, but I also sometimes take other recommendations too. And I had heard somebody on YouTube recommend this book, so maybe it was her as well. But this is a short book, so I might actually be able to read it in the month of February in its entirety. And I'm probably not going to pronounce it correctly. Sorry, frog in throat. But this is Elfrida, I guess, the first crowned Queen of England by Elizabeth Norton. And I thought, wow, I like the idea of a Queen of England before, I guess, the first crowned Queen of England was that is usually thought of as Mary I, Mary Tudor. So now we will see the true story. And so this is a chance for me to get to that one. All right. Now, oh, no, that's it. Okay, well, I'm going to just read the rest of the promptage. And so the next one was to read about Christianity or Catholicism. Now, and I think there's more detail, but that's just the part that I'm going to cover. And because I think there's some suggestions of biographies of like Paul and whatnot. But I actually do read the Bible every day, and I am currently in the book of Luke. And I know I think it mentioned that her favorite books were Jude and Revelation, but I'm still kind of in order right now. And it is nice timing for me because there was a really nice passage recently about a resurrection. So that was just, like I said, good timing to read that while, during this month. But yeah, I'm toward the end of Luke and will be in the book of John. So I know in at least one of the announcement videos of those books were mentioned as well. And also in the last prompt, they mentioned Jesus Christ. So it is there. So I'm doing that. And the other last two prompts, I don't have anything specific to show you, but if I do come up with anything, I will mention it in the near future. One was read the journals or letters of a favorite classic author. And I have read a number of Jane Austen journals, and well, not journals. I wish journals, letters. But if I find anything else that is appealing to me, I know in my library I probably do have something, then of course I'll mention it. And the last one is read something K K geez, a K-pop idol recommended or created a song about. I think at this point in my life I could say K-pop. So I know that in the last couple of years she was very interested in K-pop and Korean pop, and apparently a number of those songwriters were influenced by classic literature and whatnot. And so I wouldn't mind looking into that a little bit, but I do think that I have enough on my plate to read, and I don't want to overdo it and get stressed. I really do want to do this to um, to keep it enjoyable. I remember how there was a video a couple of years ago where she was struggling with slumping. Now, I don't think she was ever in a massive, not reading at all, but I know she wouldn't want any of us, to be overwhelmed to the point of slumpage. So I think keeping just this amount, and if I want to add more or less, I think that's good too. Keeping a balance is always a good idea. But um, but it does make me look forward to February at least a little bit, and but it's still, I still, sometimes I feel like maybe I should do more uh, things for people when they are still alive and with us to make videos about, and to be able to see these videos and feel appreciated. But I believe that she felt appreciated. I really hope so. Anyway, I don't want to get too sad right now, but I will keep you posted as often as possible about how my reading is going, and I hope that any of you who would like to join in on this, I will link the announcement videos so that you could fully follow these. And I know there were a lot of video links of hers that were connected to these announcement videos. So if you can get inspiration, I know I didn't realize that some of the people who subscribe to my channel didn't know of the Jennifer Brooks lovely channel, or about her as a person. And so if you are one of those people, this is a really good opportunity to get to know her. I know it's sad still, but it's really, really recommend you look at her videos. If you are looking for any recommendations, it is a wealth, especially like you heard of these subjects. I mean, I didn't even get into the romantasy, the fantasy stuff that she would read. It wasn't, because it's not really my cup of tea, but there was just something for everyone. Seriously, I always thought I was pretty enthusiastic about things, and and somewhat knowledgeable about books, and I love talking about what I'm interested in, but there was just this exuberance, this absolute love and enthusiasm for the things that she was interested in that just emanated from her, and she was so well spoken. Anyway, there's so many wonderful things to say about her, but really see for yourself, really. And if you already know her or her videos, then if you want to join in, please let me know if you plan to read anything in relation to We Love Jenny. And that is all for now. This is Catherine, taking tea with Catherine. Have a lovely tea and book-filled day.